There are several factors to consider whenever one's retiring with $2 million. It certainly is a good amount of money. It is really depends on what type of lifestyle you live, what your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. Uh, that all impacts how far that $2 million will go. And so um, it's a good starting point. And as you're getting closer to retirement, there are a lot of factors to consider if you are retiring with $2 million. So here are a few things that I think about. The first thing is what are you trying to accomplish? What's the objective? So if you're retiring with $2 million, are you looking to replace how much income you have? Are you looking to add additional expenses like traveling, maybe a vacation home, things of that nature? It all adds up. And so whenever you're doing your retirement planning, you want to consider uh, how much money are you going to need on a month by month or a year by year basis, and include the things that are sort of one-off expenses as well, such as vacation homes or traveling or what have you, going to see the grandkids for example. So those are things that you want to do. The second thing that you also need to consider is what are going to be your healthcare costs, and a lot of that depends on when do you retire. If you retire before 65, you're not going to have access to Medicare. So how are you going to pay for medical costs when it comes to your healthcare? There are several options. A lot of folks that work at Disney, for example, there is a Disney retirement healthcare plan, but that doesn't start until 65. Some people will choose Cobra, which is basically an extension of your employment health insurance. And so, if you're getting too ready to retire, you can use that possibly until you're 65, depending on how early you retire. There are also, of course, the Affordable Care Act exchanges is an option whenever you're looking at health insurance. And if your income is under a certain limit, you may also be able to receive tax incentives on or tax credits on the health insurance premiums as well. So you want to be thinking about health insurance costs and any other costs that maybe come up. Perhaps you're about to pay off your mortgage, or your mortgage is already paid off. You can't forget about property insurance and taxes, for example, as well. So what are the things that you want to spend money on? What are the things that you have to spend money on? Add those two things together. Then the third thing that you want to understand is what's the taxation of your assets. So you have $2 million, but is all of that in a 401k, or is all of that in your company stock, or is it some combination of stocks, mutual funds, annuities, 401k, an IRA, a Roth IRA, and all different sorts of assets. And so the reason why that matters is because you can never forget about the silent partner, Uncle Sam, and when it comes to your assets. So the $2 million is the gross number, but some portion of that may have to go to Uncle Sam as you're taking the money out. And so understanding the tax ramifications of each of the different types of assets that you have and how that impacts how much money you'll be able to withdraw and live off of within your accounts. For instance, an IRA, a traditional IRA, is going to be taxable at ordinary income rates. And so, if you are, married filing jointly, and let's say you need to live on $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year, you're going to have to take out some portion greater than that to be able to really net out that $120,000. And you have to do your tax projections and all of that within your tax bracket, standard deduction, and any other sort of deductions or credits that you may have to come up with your tax rate. But that is certainly a major component of retiring with $2 million. Where are the assets located, and what are the tax ramifications associated with those? And then the fourth thing that I think about is inflation. How does inflation play into all of this? So $2 million today is not what $2 million 20 years ago used to be, as the saying goes. And as $2 million today will not be what $2 million will be down the road because of that ever-present inflation. Now, inflation has been top of mind more recently because inflation has been higher. As this is filmed in May of 2023, inflation is still right around that 5% year-over-year number, depending on which form of inflation you're looking at and which components, right? So understanding how does inflation impact all of these numbers, because ideally you want to be able to maintain that lifestyle not only now but all the way to age to whenever you no longer need the money. So whenever you're passing away, of course, we don't know when that is. Um, Maybe it's 90, maybe it's 95, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 80. So that's something to consider there. But uh, in short, if you're retiring with $2 million, lots of factors to consider. The four that come to mind as I think about it is what do you want to spend money on? What are you going to have to what are you going to have to spend money on, like healthcare, things of that nature? What are the tax ramifications associated with your assets and how you're pulling income out, and the impact of inflation on that lifestyle?